Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday morning. So, hopefully, some of us are still enjoying a little bit of nice weather. Some of us are getting whacked. I was watching some of this snowstorm slash tornadoes, things like that were going through the west and the plains last night. And, yeah, welcome to Here Comes Winter. And here comes the potato in chief, oblivious to the fact that Americans are struggling. You know, it's kind of funny with the elections coming up next week that the Democrats are campaigning, the Hillary Clintons, the Joe Bidens, the Barack Obamas are campaigning in blue states. That'll tell you something, that they're worried they're going to lose a lot of seats in California, the governorship in New York. God, please let AOC lose. To see her melt down would just be priceless. But interesting that where they're going are blue states, and of course, they're talking into an echo chamber here. But it's still important to realize that no matter what happens on Tuesday, you still have 7 weeks of Democrats controlling Congress, and like I said, throwing a baby out with the bathwater. But we still have 2 years of Potato Joe in the White House. And don't forget, good old Barry's comments, as long as I got a phone and a pen. Biden was in San Diego as part of his trip yesterday. And during his speech, he did typical what he likes to do. Quote, "We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America and have wind and solar." Okay. What he was talking about was shutting down coal plants. Now, this is where we get into a big problem. Coal still generates 70% of our electricity in this country. Okay? Yeah. Wind and solar, like I told you the other day, if you charged every battery in the world, we'd have 75 seconds worth of power. And yet this idiocy keeps coming up. I mean, I'm hoping that you have cooler heads prevail and go, this isn't possible. Because as much as he can talk about shutting down the coal plants, all right, there still has to be the people, the you and me's, the Joe Averages out there, who do it, okay, who say, okay, fine, we're not going to dig coal, who say, okay, fine, we're going to go to wind and solar, whatever it would be. Because Joe doesn't have a switch to go, we're shutting it down. He can do whatever he wants, but this is when you get anarchy. This is when you get an overthrow of the government, which I think Tuesday is going to be the beginning of the overthrow of the U.S. government. The Democrats love to talk about the insurrection of January 6th. The insurrection you're going to see is going to be November 8th. That's when Congress is going to get thrown out on its ass. And, even when you get Gavin Newsom coming up and saying that, yeah, I see a red wave coming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all the Democrats, oh, this is going to be the end to democracy, No, okay. Democracy is pretty simple. The people vote in what they want in the way of representation. Okay, that's what a representative democracy is. This isn't the end of democracy at all. This is democracy in action. And they're just butthurt that the people don't want what they're peddling. And, you guys know it as well as I do. It's because they are all beholden. Somebody's got them by the cojones saying, oh, gee, Joe, unless you do this, we're going to release this information about Hunter, or, gee, Hillary, unless you are out promoting this, we're going to start digging up all those skeletons, and, we're going to blow the lid open on Murder Inc. But yeah, this is what's going on. Biden was talking about a coal plant in Massachusetts, which had been repurposed to wind power. Okay. And his comment on it, coal was just too expensive. Okay. This is exactly what he was coming. The reason we have used coal is it's abundant and it's cheap. What made it expensive? All the government regulations that were put on coal miners, on coal-fired plants, etc., etc. If you really want to get down to it, okay, electricity generated by wind and solar is more expensive. Take out the regulations, okay? Take out all the bullshit that is put on by politicians with an alternate agenda. Wind and solar is more expensive to generate power than it is from any other source. Yeah, okay. If you look at some of the studies right now, and even with gas up here averaging somewhere around $4 a gallon nationwide, it is more expensive per mile to drive an electric vehicle than it is to drive a gas-powered vehicle. So of course, then their fallback is, but the climate, okay, yeah, wonderful, okay. We don't drive the same cars we drove in the 70s that the pollution was crazy. The Chinese do, the South Americans do, the Indians do, okay, the Mexicans do, but none of them have to deal with we're shutting down the coal plants. China's building coal plants. There's what, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as many people in China as there are in the United States. Yeah, okay, let's think about this. This would be 3, 4, 5 times the amount of pollution generated. Pretty simple, okay? China's an industrialized nation. Remember, they have all our manufacturing, guys. We don't have the plants here anymore. They do. Okay, where's the pollution coming from? If they want to go after all these environmental issues, get China on board. Until then, shut the F up. Let's put it that way. All right. But this is what's going on right now. Biden's out there trying to shut down coal plants. It is important that you make sure you are prepared for higher electricity rates, higher heat rates, no heat, no electricity, whatever it would be, okay? Because just because on Tuesday that both houses of Congress are going to flip, do not expect it to be a light switch and all of a sudden we're going back to happy days are here again, okay? That's not going to happen. There's still enough rhinos and there's still enough bullshit that's been pushed through that has to be undone. It's going to be a long, cold, tough winter for people. Help each other out as best as you can. Find things like where there are warming centers or whatever. Look at them now, because to take care of your kids, to take care of yourself, to take care of your pets, whatever, it's going to get tough, especially in some of these colder climates that are used to it. People are going to need someplace to warm up. And Joe's intention is to freeze us out, guys. Don't think the Democrats are going to sit on their hands and go, oh, gee, we lost. No, they're going to do whatever they can to ramrod through everything they can in the next 2 months. Be ready. Pinball out.